Hey, no. We start with something I think is very helpful to just about everyone in our audience. Support for today's show comes from ZBiotics. And I have to tell you, this is one of those game changers that I now keep stocked at home. It's called Pre-Alcohol. It is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic designed by PhD scientists to help you feel your best after a night of drinks. Now, here's the deal. When you drink, that alcohol, it turns into a toxic byproduct right in your gut. And it is that buildup. It's not dehydration. That's what makes the next morning rough. So ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol produces an enzyme that breaks that byproduct down, and you wake up feeling sharp. The first time I tried it was before a dinner party, a couple glasses of wine, maybe, a margarita or something. And the next morning, I was up early, walking the dogs, ready to go. And with fall here, you got tailgating, you're watching college football, you're celebrating the big win. Make ZBiotics your first drink of the night. Head to zbiotics.com/lemon and use the code LEMON at checkout for 15% off of your first order. They even offer a 100% money-back guarantee. That's zbiotics.com/lemon. Drink smart. Feel better. Yes, of course, drink smart. Thank you to our sponsors. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Thumbs up, like, affects the algorithm. More people become aware of the conversation. Make sure you hit that thumbs up before you do anything. So thank you for joining us on this Tuesday. And let's just get right to it, because I have a lot to talk about. I don't know if you guys have seen this story that is coming out of Washington, D.C. with these young Republican staffers and others, okay? So let's get right to it, because what I'm about to tell you, this isn't really coming from some dark corner of the internet, right? It's not like 4chan or like the dark web. It's not anonymous trolls, nameless extremists hiding behind avatars. This is from the people who are supposed to be the future of the Republican Party. They're young leaders, they're elected officials, they're campaign operatives, people working inside the government, the ones being groomed to run this country one day. The people we say, oh my gosh, these are the next leaders of the country, young people, and all of the ills of society will be healed when these young people come in, and racism will be over when just the young people come in. They forgot about the old people who are teaching them this shit. So here's how they talk when they think nobody is watching. These are the young people. Like, you can make this shit sounds like the Shitler youth. Okay, and I'm quoting here. Everyone who votes no is going to the gas chamber. That's a quote. Can we fix the showers? Gas chambers don't fit the Hitler aesthetic. That's a quote from them. I'm ready to watch people burn. Another quote. It was rape. Another quote. Rape, Hayden. Great. I love Hitler. Again, these are all quotes. I go to the zoo if I wanted to watch monkeys play ball. Another quote. And then one is, stay in the closet, faggot. And then the last one that I'll just read for you now. Fat, stinky Jew. These are the quotes. Now, this is Politico's reporting. So these are real quotes from real people. Allegedly, they are, or reportedly, these are real, from real people. Peter Giunta, he's the chief of staff to the New York State Assemblyman. Bobby Walker is a vice chair of the New York State Young Republicans. William Hendricks, who worked for the Kansas Attorney General. Samuel Douglas is a sitting state senator, and Michael Bartels, a senior advisor inside the Small Business Administration. So again, this is Politico's reporting. This is what they're reporting as the quotes and the people involved. Now, they are not hiding in some chat room with that shit. They're writing laws. They are managing campaigns. They are shaping policy. And this is how they speak in private. And someone we're going to have on, my friend Jen Welch always tells me, you should hear the shit that people say to me in private, meaning white people. They think I'm going to go along with their racist crap. And boy, does she always have an earful for them. Jen will be on in just moments. Now, I want to talk directly to you, especially the white men who are watching tonight, because every time that I have brought this up before, but every single time I've said that there's a problem here. You know what I've been called? I've been called a racist or a race baiter or delusional or anti-white or some other like pejorative, some other nasty thing, you know, homophobic slurs. I've been told that I am the problem just for pointing out the obvious. But look at this. I want you to look at this and I want you to tell me, was I lying? Or was I warning you? When a state party vice chair calls black people monkeys, am I the racist for saying it's a problem? When a state senator's wife jokes that Jews can't be honest, am I the hateful one? When a Trump administration official sits silently while people joke about gas chambers, am I the one who's dividing the country? Am I? You know, that high pitch. Am I? No. The division is right here. It's in their words. It's in their jokes. And do not be fooled by it. Most of the people involved are men, right? But there are some ladies in there, okay? So ladies, you're not off the hook here. The division is right here. In their words, it's in their jokes. And don't be fooled. They know exactly what they're doing. They literally said, if this chat ever leaked, we'd be cooked. They knew, and they did the shit anyway. So what can we just call this what it is? It's not boys being boys. It's not dark humor. This is a locker room talk. This is mainly white male rage, wearing a suit and a tie. And then some ladies who are there as well being dragged into it. This is fascism practicing its lines before stepping onto the main stage. Now, look at this pattern. Look at the pattern. Okay? Just before you start calling me names and saying whatever. Racism. Watermelon people. Monkey play ball. Scream the no word. Okay? Now, this is anti-Semitism. Fat stinky Jew. Heil Hitler. 1488, the Nazi code. Misogyny is kick the B word. The other one is it was rape. The homophobia is like stay in your closet, faggot. Violence, gas chambers, torture. Eradicate them from the planet. This is how hate grows. It's not overnight. It's not with tanks rolling down the streets. It starts with jokes. It starts with group chats. With people who think that they are being funny. First, it's just a joke, man. And you know you're going to hear that. These people are joking. We can't joke around anymore. Can't we? No, we can't say anything without people trying to cancel us. Who are the people that are actually trying to cancel people right now? That would be the right. If you don't believe me, why don't you ask Jimmy Kimmel? So first it's a joke, then it's a platform, right? It's funny, it's a joke. Then it's a platform, and then it's policy. And by the time you wake up, your country has changed. You guys take this stuff for granted. Like this is, if they were just joking, these young people, you can't say anything. Can't we just say the R word? Can't we say the F word? Can't we just do that? Can't we call women all kinds of C word? Can't we do that? And don't you dare tell me this is fringe. You heard all the people that I mentioned. These people, again, mostly men, they are the bench. They are the pipeline. They are the next generation of Republican power. They are seeking Donald Trump's endorsement. They are copying his language. He is the imprimatur for this bullshit. They are learning that cruelty is currency in this environment, that humiliation is a strategy, and that hate can be marketed and it can be monetized and it can get you all the way to the White House. You can grab them by the pussy. You can, according to a lawsuit, molest them in a dressing room in a department store and still become the president of the United States. Still make billions of dollars. MAGA and Republicans, do you guys ever think like, what if we devolved into. Do you ever think about that? That's why I think I love to talk to my ex-Republican friends, like the folks over at the Bulwark, and you're like, these people used to be staunch Republicans, and now they are like, they have X-ray vision glasses on. They're like, we know this bullshit. Let us tell you what it is. A joke about gas chambers becomes a law that bans books, right? A joke about, I won't say F words, becomes a law that strips health care. A joke about monkeys becomes voter suppression. A joke about rape becomes forced childbirth. If you're watching this and you're like, oh my God, he's so hyperbolic. Look at what's happening. Look at what happened with the Dobbs decision with Roe v. Wade. Look at what happened with that. Look at now they're saying that they want to send same-sex marriage back to the states. Look at them now wanting to ban books. Look at what they're saying about getting rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Not only saying it, doing it. Look at about removing the history of slavery, or anything that doesn't speak positively about the history of America as it relates to white people. And I just want to say this, if you're watching white people in general, okay, if you are watching this and you're a white person in general, and it's in particular white men, okay, I need you to hear me very clearly. I am not blaming you for writing those messages, but I do blame you if you ignore it. The warning here. I am blaming you if you see them and you do nothing. I am blaming you if you hear that language and you stay silent because this is uncomfortable, or you just don't want to hear it, or because you're blinded with ideology and you think like, well, maybe somebody deserved it, or, whatever excuse that you come up with, or it's a witch hunt. I hear all the time, it's a witch hunt. I am blaming you if you pretend it's not your problem because it didn't come from your mouth, or it doesn't affect you. Silence is not neutral. It is complicity. Every time you stay quiet, the bigots get stronger. Every time you change the subject, the misogyny goes deeper. Every time you laugh along, people feel emboldened to be homophobic. If you do nothing now while there's, still just talking, just joking, you're going to have no moral ground to stand on when they start doing. History doesn't forgive silence. Look back at history. It does not ever forgive silence. Like I always tell people, look at those pictures of the people yelling at children, kids going off to school, first, second, third graders, junior high school, going to school, yelling at black students. Those faces, you've seen those faces. Just hate-filled. Look at the people who went to lynchings like people go to the movies in the theater now. They get dressed up and they went to lynchings. Germany didn't wake up one morning to gas chambers. It walked there slowly, step by step, through jokes, through slurs, just words, and silence. And we are really walking that same road right now. I don't know. I say walking that. I don't think we're sliding into fascism. I think we have careened into fascism, and now we're going into something that goes along with that fascism, and that is this dangerous thing that happens when society just devolves and nothing matters and nobody cares. This isn't just a scandal. This should be a warning call. This is a break glass moment. It's a siren. It is a flashing red light about what is coming if you keep treating this like politics as usual. And make no mistake about this. If this is what they say in private, because the shit that people say in private is what they really mean. That's like the shit that people say when they get drunk. If this is what they say in private, imagine what they'll do when no one is looking and they have power. Imagine what they'll do when everybody's looking and they have power because they feel emboldened and they're being protected by the state. Because it is happening right now. They're snatching people off the street, no due process. They don't care who it is, especially if it's black or brown people. They don't give a shit. They don't at all. And here is where I'm going to leave this part tonight before we go on and we talk to our guests. And I go through this article with you. If this country keeps looking away, if you keep looking away, if you keep making excuses, if you keep saying it's not my business, if you keep doing this, if good people, especially those who benefit most from staying quiet, if you keep pretending that this isn't your fight, then the future belongs to the people in that chat. The ones who laughed about the gas chambers. The ones who called and still do call slavery based, like it's, some sort of cool shit. The ones who turned hatred into a punchline and a playbook. So when all of a sudden, because it happens, life comes at you fast. You know that, right? So when that future arrives, and it will, it's right in the windshield, and you're like, oh, somebody hit the brakes. Oh, no, we can't. We're on GPS, and we are going straight towards it at a steady speed. Maybe we're pushing the accelerator. So when that future arrives, it won't matter. It won't matter who meant it as a joke. It won't matter who says, well, I didn't write those messages. It won't matter who insists, I'm one of the good ones. All that's going to matter is who stood by and who let the joke become law. Or should I say, who let the joke become president? Same thing. It fits. Who decided that comfort was worth more than courage? I have warned you about comfort. It is a poison. Who chose to be a spectator while the worst of us rewrote the rules for all of us? That's what's happening now. The worst inclinations. The people with the worst thoughts about where society should go. Those are the people who are in charge now. We are not warning about what might happen someday. It's already happening right now. I'm not warning you about that. It's already happening right now. And if we don't stop lying to ourselves about that, then it will write our future in laws, in policies, and dare I say, in blood. If we don't draw the line right here with this mess, all of these things are warning signs, warning, flashing, red. They say God sends signals, right? He sends it like, I tried to tell you. He said, Lord, why didn't you? He goes, well, I let the folks get the leaks of the racist messages and you ignored it. Or I did this and you ignored it. So if we don't draw the line right here, then they will cross every single line after it. And the next time they say, I love Hitler, it ain't going to be in a chat. It's going to be from a podium. It's going to be into a microphone. And it's going to have the power of the state behind it. Wajahat Ali is here. Jennifer Welch is here. First, a word from our sponsors. Back after the break. This episode of the Don Lemon Show is brought to you by my friends over at Radioactive Media. They are the audio marketing pros, recently named number 20 on Inc. magazine's list of fastest growing private companies in the Pacific region. Okay. So listen, earthquakes, hurricanes, floods, we prepare for those, but nothing prepares a business for an economic meltdown. And while this administration calls it part of the plan, you need to plan a plan of your own. Okay. You need to have a plan of your own. That is where Radioactive Media comes in. Think of them as a lighthouse in the economic storm, helping you cut through the noise by tapping into the power of podcasts and radio marketing, the hottest, most cost-effective way to reach a loyal audience. Audio actually reaches more people in the US than social and digital combined. So Radioactive knows how to launch, optimize, and scale campaigns that work. They even use audio themselves right here, right now. So if you're a mid-sized company or a well-funded startup, text podcast to 511-511 or visit radioactivemedia.com. Discover how audio can make your brand stand out and sound better today. Message and data rates may apply. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. October is World Mental Health Month, and this year we're saying thank you to therapists, the people who show up, listen, and help us move forward. Now, I got to tell you, I've been in therapy myself, and those moments of breakthrough or even just having a safe space to say what's on your mind, that can be life-changing. BetterHelp has helped more than 5 million people start that journey. With over 30,000 licensed therapists, they make it easy to find the right one. You fill out a short questionnaire, they do the matching, and if it's not the right fit, you can switch at any time. This October, honor your mental health and maybe take that first step. I want you to do this. I want you to go and visit betterhelp.com/DonLemon, and you get 10% off of your first month. That's betterhelp.com/DonLemon, because help is always worth reaching for. Your mental health is very important. I say help is always worth reaching for, and I agree with that 100%. So here to help me with all of this is Wajahat Ali. He's a political commentator, the host of the Democracy-ish podcast, and the author of the Left Hook Substack that I appeared on today, causing some trouble that I'm sure will be written about in the right-wing world. Jennifer Welch is here. She's the host of the I've Had It podcast and the author of Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches, and a dear friend of the show. And they both have rubbed off on me because I've had a lot of potty mouth during this thing. But this stuff really pisses me off. So I'm going to bring both of you in. But Jen, I just want to, I invoked your name at the beginning of this because they said this stuff in private. And you and I always have, I remember when I first met you, you said, Don, I have these conversations with people in private and they think, the racist, that I'm going to co-sign this shit. And boy, don't they have another thing coming, and you let them have it. Are you surprised by this story?
No, I'm not surprised. I am a white woman that has lived in white neighborhoods in a red state all of my life. And this is always there under the surface. And in white spaces, white people test the water to see what is acceptable in all white crowds, what they can get away with. And now that the right has done away with cancel culture, we're seeing this stuff incubate. And I understand that cancel culture can be over the top and petty and ridiculous. But when Donald Trump was canceled for all of his social media, for YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and when Nick Fuentes was canceled, those are good things. We cannot let this stuff incubate, because if you look at organizations where you have a lot of white people doing a lot of stuff without multiculturalism involved, particularly if it's a lot of white men, look at the Catholic Church, look at the Boy Scouts, there's no moderating voices. It's not good for society. We are globalized now, whether they like it or not. And we have got to bring back shame. We need to bring back a little bit of cancel culture. I mean, there needs to be consequences for saying and doing these things.
Wajahat, all I'll say to you is go. Are you surprised? We talked about this a little bit. It was just a mention, I think, when did we even talk about it on the Substack today?
We did. I think I told you that was, I think, breaking news. Racist gonna racist, folks. News at 11. The racists are gonna racist on Charlie Kirk Remembrance Day. Charlie Kirk was a racist. He was a bigot. The young Republican leaders are behaving just like their martyr and king Charlie Kirk, who said that the Civil Rights Act was a mistake, who said that Martin Luther King was a horrible person, who said that black people were better off during segregation, whose one of his last posts on Twitter was, Islam is the sword used by the left to slit the throat of America. That Charlie Kirk, who got the Presidential Medal of Honor today by Donald Trump, our commander in Cankled chief, who, by the way, with his neck vagina, if you saw on the Time magazine cover, his so-called ceasefire just blew up. This pathetic racist piece of shit is the model of king and daddy of these young Republicans. And I don't know about you, Don and Jen, I've been poor before. I lost everything in my 20s. When I had economic anxiety, I never, not even once, in private or in public, said, I love Hitler. I don't know about y'all. When I had economic anxiety, I didn't feel the sudden urge to all of a sudden start promoting anti-Semitic conspiracies and throwing my enemies in the gas chambers and using the N-word and calling gay people the F-word. That is what these people, these young leaders did repeatedly, not just once, Jen and Don, repeatedly. And they laughed at each other and they applauded each other. This is who they are. This is racism. White supremacy is the enduring sin of America. White supremacy and greed, racism and capitalism. And until it is tackled, until it is confronted, until it is purged, we will see the manifestation of white supremacy and greed in the form of Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Charlie Kirk, and these young leaders. And may I just say, maybe these young white conservative men need mental health. And if you are the master race and claim that you're the master race, work out. Have you seen some of the photos of these people? Work out and also wash your ass. Sorry. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Leaders of young Republican groups throughout the country worried what would happen if their Telegram chat ever got leaked, but they kept typing anyway. They referred to Black people as monkeys and the watermelon people, and mused about putting their political opponents in gas chambers. They talked about raping their enemies and driving them to suicide, and lauded Republicans who they believed support slavery. One quote here that I'll give you. William Hendricks, again, this is the Politico's reporting, the Kansas Young Republicans vice chair. The words, nigga, I'm just going to say it, and nigga, with an A and then a UH, variations of a racial slur, more than a dozen times in the chat. Bobby Walker, the vice chair of the New York State Young Republicans at the time, referred to rape as epic. Peter Junta, who at the time was chair of the same organization, wrote in a message sent in June that everyone and I quote here, everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber. And then it actually devolved from there. Jen, you have children. Not all of these folks are children. I said in the beginning in my monologue, everyone says, I hear people all the time, well, this is going to end when young people get, older. They don't have the same sorts of things. We forget about the older people who are influencing them and teaching them.
Yeah. So I have a 22-year-old son and a 19-year-old son. And from a very young age, I mean, I made it abundantly clear to them, you can grow up to be anything you want to be, but by God, you are not going to be an asshole. You are not going to be a Republican. It's just not going to happen. And it was very simple to make that case, raising them in Oklahoma City, because Republicans in Oklahoma City are Christian nationalists. They are racist. They are sexist. They are homophobic. And it was simple when they would go to friends' houses and they would see the families, Republican families, and they would come back and they were like, Mom, you're right. It's different. And, I always would, when they would come back, because they're going out to these, friends' houses, and I know how racist a lot of these people are. I know it because they say racist shit to me. And I always stand up for it. And they don't say it around me as much anymore, especially with my elevated stature with the podcast and stuff. But back before I was a public figure, I remember, I told you this story, Dawn, but I'll share it with the group. I remember after Obama won, I was so proud. I worked on his campaign. I had Obama signs. I got like 10 people on my street in red Oklahoma City to put Obama signs up. And this girl came over, she's all liquored up, and she goes, yeah, it's hilarious. Now we're calling Air Force One Afro One. And I said, what did you just fucking say to me? This is a grown woman. And she got well, no, I'm not racist. And I'm like, you know what I don't have to say? I don't have to say I'm not racist because I don't say shit like that. It's like a gay guy that's, around on Grindr. And then after he hooks up with somebody saying, hey, I'm not gay. It's like, if you have to say you're not racist, you're a fucking racist, period. And
if you have to say I'm not gay, you're gay.
100%. You're gay. You're eating ass. You're doing gay shit at night. Everybody knows it. Moses Mike Johnson, J.D. Vance. But I digress. But this stuff, these conversations, when you look at what has been incubated online, look at what the president of the United States did. He brings over Andrew Tate.
Yep.
The moral collapse is on full display. And so this does not surprise me. This is what MAGA is incubating. This is what these kids are finding online. And a part of me, when it comes to this shit, cancel them. Bring back a part of cancel culture. People need to feel shame for this. This is disgraceful. This is sociopathic. They are raising little sociopathic twats. These parents should feel like abject failures. If my sons ever did anything like that, I would crawl up their fucking ass. You wouldn't even believe how much I would crawl up their ass if they ever engaged in anything like this. This is just disgraceful.
I said that Donald Trump was the imprimatur. He has emboldened racists and for people to just say the most horrible things and to behave in the most horrible ways. This is Donald Trump demonizing migrants and undocumented people. It's long. I won't play all of it, but here you go.
Americans have watched their communities destroyed by this sudden, suffocating inundation of illegal aliens. I said, if you let them in, it's going to be hell. They are vicious, violent criminals. These are stone-cold killers. They'll walk into your kitchen, they'll cut your throat. These are people at the highest level of killing. They'd cut your throat, and they won't even think about it the next morning. These people are roaming our country. They could go into a restaurant, they can do whatever they want, and they will kill you because they are wired that way. These people are animals. Now they'll say, oh, that's a terrible thing for him to say. No, no. These people are animals.
It's in their genes, and we got a lot of bad genes in our country.
All right,
right
you
now.
guys get the point. You get the point. Wajahat, he's made racism and bigotry fashionable among the right.
Yeah, the hoods are off. I've been saying that for a couple of years, and they learn from their king and daddy. And not only do they learn from their king and daddy, Donald Trump, they realize, oh, it's a winning strategy. The more cruel you are, the more misogynist you are, the more xenophobic you are, the more Islamophobic you are, the more anti-black you are, you will be rewarded by the Republican Party. Not only will you be rewarded, you might actually become president. You might incite a violent insurrection. You can pal around with a pedophile and a rapist. You can sexually assault E. Jean Carroll. You can defame her, and all is well. You can mock Puerto Ricans and Muslims and black people and just get away with it and say it's a joke. Stop being politically incorrect. And this is who the young Republican leaders are. Folks, I'm very radical when it comes to forgiveness, right? Yes, they're young, but these aren't just young boys and girls. I got kids too. My kids are young. My kids are ages 5, 9, and 11. My kids do not behave this way. They're empathetic. They're sensitive. If God forbid, inshallah it won't happen because they're raised right and they wash their ass. But if my kids ever said anything like this, you better believe, folks, all hell. I would unleash hell on them, right? If they ever behave like this. They got friends who are white, brown, immigrants, black friends, right? They do not behave like this. There is a reward structure within the Republican Party that rewards this type of vulgarity. Again, folks, I want to remind you that this report got leaked today on Charlie Kirk Remembrance Day, the man that they worship as some sort of martyr, a saint, the hagiography of Charlie Kirk. Just quote his actual words, Don. We talked about it earlier today on our show. Just use his own clips, what he said about black people, women, transgender people, Latinos. He celebrated violence, right? David DePape, the Trump supporter who almost killed Paul Pelosi. You know what Charlie Kirk told his followers? Pay his bail. He was all in for the January 6th insurrection. And if they really want to honor Charlie Kirk, you know what they would do? Release the Epstein files. Because that's what Charlie Kirk said before he died, release the Epstein files. But I just want you all to know that this is not an aberration. This is the norm. And to Jen's point, and I think this is an important point, there's no rule that says you have to platform a Nazi. There's no rule that says you have to give a microphone to a grand wizard of the KKK. We can mock them, ridicule them, and deny them the establishment mainstream spaces they so desperately covet, which is why I think all of us are independent. We don't both sides genocide. We don't both sides fascism, and we don't have to both sides racism. If they want to come on our show, we platform them. You ask them follow-up questions, and you say, why are you perfectly fine saying I love Hitler? And what makes you and your racism qualified to be a young Republican leader? And the answer is because we represent the Republican Party and their hate and racism. That's where I think we should be, folks. We need to call it out, Don. Call them racist. Hit dogs holler. They hate being called racist. Call them racist to their face. Tweet it out right now.
You're muted, Don.
I had my little Poochie barking in the background because he's hungry. And I'm not talking about Tim. I'm talking about the dogs. So
the racism made the dogs holler.
You said a hit dog will holler, so I had to mute
your
it.
dog's racist?
No,
He's anti-racist. It's the anti-racist dog.
no, my dogs are anti-racist. I have
Good.
my
Mine are
dogs are
too.
mixed race. I have a white one and a black one, and then one who's kind of gray. Anyways, so where am I? Where was I going? Oh, so listen, we should not be surprised by this because we saw it happening before the election. This was just one of the rallies for one of the comedians and broadcasters and manosphere folks who were all kissing Donald Trump's butt and helping to usher him into the Oval Office. And they were saying shit like this. Here it is.
Hinchcliffe?
These Latinos, they love making babies too. Just know that. They do. They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah.
Puerto Rico.
I think it's called Puerto Rico. That's a cool black guy with a thing on his head. What the hell is that? A lampshade? I'm just kidding. That's one of my buddies. He had a Halloween party last night. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome.
She is some sick Hillary Clinton, huh? What a sick son of a. The whole party, a bunch of degenerates.
She is the devil, whoever screamed that out. She is the Antichrist. It's going to be pretty hard to look at us and say, you know what? Kamala Harris, she got 85 million votes because she's just so impressive. As the first Samoan, Malaysian, low IQ, former California prosecutor ever to be elected president.
Okay, here's the
After
thing.
those
I don't want to hear, that's good. I don't want to hear anybody ever call me a race baiter or a racist again. I've never said some shit like that. And they think it's okay. They said it. They said the loud part out loud, Jen, and with impunity because he won.
Yeah. So what's so devastating about all of this is the whole country saw this, and you had 77 million people who are celebrating the villain. They're celebrating this type of behavior. And I remember a moment in 2015 during the primary season. And I'm an interior designer when I'm not a podcaster. And I was with one of my clients. She's very wealthy. And Republicans back in 2015 at the end of Obama era, they would say stuff like, oh, well, we voted for a gay candidate. We voted for an independent. And we voted for this brown candidate. They were trying to be centrist. And it was during the primary, the debate, where Trump was like, Lil Marco, Lion Ted, which I kind of enjoyed a little bit of that because he was calling them all out. And I said, you're not going to vote for Trump, are you? To my wealthy Republican client. And she said, oh, God, no, he's so trashy. But then she said, but I'll tell you what. He says what everybody's thinking. And I'll never forget that moment. I'll never forget it. And I thought they are all still so fucking mad that a black man ate off the china in the White House. And now they're liberated. All of these broadcasters can say the R word. They can say pussy. They can call a gay man the F word. And they are making racism the status quo again. And back in the day, Dawn, I was raised in the 80s and I would have gone, my parents super progressive. And there was this time when I was growing up where I would have gone out of my way if somebody said, so tell me about Don Lemon. I'd be like, oh, he's a journalist and he's really cute. And I would have gone out of my way not to say you're black because there was this effort among white people to try to not be racist. And it was this whole, we don't see color thing. That's why the Black Lives Matter thing was so refreshing. Because now I can say, oh, my friend Don Lemon, he's a black man. He's a gay man. You can see their color. You can see their skin and appreciate that your journey was more difficult than my husband, Josh, who's a white guy, raised in a white culture. But I'll just never forget when she said, he says what everybody thinks. And this man has moved people. peer pressure can keep these Republicans, and I know these people well because I grew up around them. Peer pressure and cancel culture can make them feel shame and can make their conscience kind of be alive. So when this gets mainstreamed like this, they feel liberated and they break to their worst impulses. When they're shamed, then they're like, oh yeah, maybe. I'm just saying, I think people are malleable with this stuff as we grow and as we evolve. And this being streamlined, the way that Nazi rally that they did at Madison Square Garden, I remember when that happened, I just thought, I cannot believe that people are celebrating this. What a million steps backwards, because they're so fucking mad that this great Black man was president.
Do you remember the question that you asked me on the hit that we did today? Wajhat, you asked me, who can fix this? I think you said, how can we fix this problem? We were talking about white men and political violence and such. And so, Jen, I want to ask you the same question, because he asked me the question. I didn't say this, and I think it was, I think it's important to point out, I believe that it's white people. I believe it's folks like you, Jen, who other white people will listen to. Right? Because they're not going to listen to me, I don't think, because they'll say, oh, he's just a race baiter. Of course he'll say that, but he's Black. But I think it's up to our leaders who are white to try to talk to these people and call them out and talk some sense into their heads. Do you think I'm wrong about that, Jen?
No, I think you're 100% right. I think the fact that Mayan Pump's podcast is so great and it's so novel is really sad. I think I'm grateful for our success, but I think it's really sad that people are like, oh shit, these white women, they look so fox coded, but they're liberal. Where were they January 6th? Oh shit, they're really in the tank for us, you know, and that it's such a surprise to people. But I will tell you this, I have people all over the place that come to me and they say, thank you for saying what you're saying. I agree with you. Or I'll see younger Gen Z millennials that say, I sent my mother your podcast and she's changing and she's evolving. And so credible messengers, whether it's fair or not, is just where we are. Yep. And sadly, for a lot of white people in America, they only see other white people as credible messengers, as thought leaders on this. And I don't like that. I personally do not like that. But it takes what it takes to bend the arc of the moral universe towards justice and equality. And it's just a hill I will die on, because I grew up around this type of thing. Now, when you live in a purple city, you find the liberals. And when you're a liberal in a red state, you have to really fight hard for it. And they're some of the toughest fighters in the country. But that's why Pumps and I have a platform, is because just like that woman told me, Trump says what everybody's thinking, a lot of people, white people, are hearing what Pumps and I say, and we're saying what they're thinking. And they see the injustice and they see the people kidnapped off the streets. And I believe that we are the majority, Don. I believe that the majority of Americans are mortified by this. I truly do.
I want both of you to listen to this. I want you, I'm going to let you weigh in. I really am. I'm going to let you finish, Taylor.
No, I just want to respond to what Jen was saying. Okay. But continue, please.
No, I wanted to, you can respond to Jen. I think this will help you out. Okay. So this is, we talked about this a bit earlier, Wajhat, but I want Jen to see this, because this man said, I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of people telling me how I need to react, how I need to mourn, how I need to do all of these things when these people are just racist. And I ran into him in Chicago. He was at a protest. He said, Don, you don't want this heat. And I said, yeah, I want to hear. And then here he is.
I say what I want to say. I got a freedom of speech regardless of what Donald Trump thinks. I can say what the fuck I want to say.
What do you want to say to Donald Trump?
Fuck Donald Trump. Die from natural causes. Pam Bundy an idiot. Christy Nome ugly. Fuck Donald Trump. Get the fuck out of our city. Basically, like, you know, quit racial profiling people. And I just hate all this shit. I hate them.
Why is it pissing you off so much?
Because they racist. I know deep down it's all like some racist shit. You see the shit all over the news and all over the TV, seeing this dumbass shit they saying that day and all this dumbass shit they doing and shit. Once I rolled past here and saw people people protest the shit. I don't know. I just want to be heard. They just some fucking idiots, man. I don't know. There ain't really no other way to put it. They racist, and they don't like me, and I don't like them. And, you know, like, they got a problem with a motherfucker like me, but they love Charlie Kirk. Like, what the fuck? Charlie Kirk's a piece of shit. I don't get no fuck. I got a job too. I don't get no fuck. Dox me. You better not pull up where I be at. Charlie Kirk running around saying stupid ass, racist ass shit, all type of dumb ass shit. They call him a patriot, and he was a piece of shit. He was a racist. He said if he see a black pilot, he wonder is he qualified. He a piece of shit, bro. Like, he the one said that a couple gun deaths is okay for the Second Amendment. He said that shit. Then when he get shot, we all supposed to cry. He was talking shit the minute the bullet hit his neck. He's still talking shit. His stupid ass wife still out here being racist and trying to throw Super Bowl shows. They dumb as hell, and Bad Bunny Puerto Rican. They don't even know he American. They just racist. Like, they just see, oh, he's brown. He just racist, bro. So fuck all of them.
Go ahead, Wajad. You have the floor.
Tying it all together, all people of color need to channel that man's energy, keep it real, give 0 F, stop playing a rigged game. White supremacy has always been a rigged game. When it comes to people of color, we always have to prove our civilizational worth, our civilizational capacity, prove that you're intellectually superior, prove that you have a culture. And as Toni Morrison said, at the end of the day, it's a distraction. I'm done playing this game. I'm done with Lucy lifting up the football and me being Charlie Brown falling on my ass. Enough. Call it out for what it's worth. Call them racist. Call them trash, because that's what they are. Call out their cankled commander-in-chief who's aging despot with a neck vagina. Mock them, ridicule them, make fun of Stephen Miller. He hates being called 4'10" mini Himmler, mini Goebbels. Bring the receipts. And now you got the receipts. You got their own Telegram chats, right? And all people of color need to just stop. We have too much to do. We have to live whatever is left of our lives with joy. We have to move forward. We have to work together to restore this country that white supremacy has destroyed. We have to save this country with allies like Jen. And when it comes to white women, I will say this the first time I'm talking to Jen. Jen and Pumps have emerged as people of color's favorite white women. As the ambassador of all people of color on this show, let me say thank you, Jen and Pumps. We listen to them and we're like, I don't know who these white women are, but these people are dope. Can they spread some of this white energy to all the Kool-Aid that suburban whites are drinking? Because in all seriousness, what Jen said is absolutely correct. Don, you and I talked about this earlier. White lives matter more in this country. White tears matter more in this country. White blood matters more in this country. White rage is listened to. Black and brown people, can you imagine if black and brown folks marched 1,600 of us to the White House on January 6th? There would be chalk outlines of our bodies. So when white women, especially people like Jen and Pumps, who are very gifted, and they come with that righteous rage and they hold feet of the fire to Cory Booker, great interview, Jen, today. I just reshared it. Or Rahm Emanuel, they call out the genocide, they call out fascism, they call out racism. Other white folks listen to them. And they're like, if Jen's saying this, who looks like me, there must be a problem. So this is what we need with our white allies. You need to amplify, and you need to check your white women and white sons and young white daughters and bring them in and say, this is not right. There is a better way forward. And you'll always see us, especially black women, black folks, people of color, will be there as allies, and our dogs and my 3 cats. Because, folks, I'll tell you this, we ain't going back. You made a mistake, white folks, by letting us in, white racists. We ain't going back. White supremacy is ultimately dumb and self-destructive. We're witnessing the death march of white supremacy. But I agree with Jen. There is a majority. 45% of white women did the right thing. And now you're seeing a lot of folks, Latinos, young people saying, I didn't vote for this shit. I didn't vote to see kids being zip-tied in Chicago. I didn't vote to see the price of beef at skyrocket levels. I wanted the release of the Epstein files. Enough with this shit. Let's move forward together. So that is my TED Talk, and that is my rant.
My black dog came over and wanted to get in my lap when you were talking. So my black dog agrees. Wajahat, Jen, thank you. Are you guys done? Jen, I know you have to go, and Wajahat, I think you have to run.
Wajahat, thank you. It was so nice to meet you. Thank you for what you said, Don. I love you.
I love you. We'll talk soon.
Thanks,
okay, bye,
thanks everyone. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, chat.
Bye, chat. Hey, Boomer, do you agree? They were great, right? They were great. A word from our sponsors. I have more to say right after this. 2 minutes. Today's show is brought to you by Graza. That's my go-to olive oil now. I love cooking for friends and family, and Graza has completely upgraded my kitchen. They pick, press, and bottle their olives in the same season, so the oil is always fresh. You can even see the harvest date. That harvest date is right on the bottle, as a matter of fact. They make 2. One is called Sizzle. That's your everyday cooking for roasting and sauteing, etc. And then there's Drizzle. That's the bowl finishing oil for bread, salads, even ice cream. You can do a little in a martini. I'm telling you, it works. So I use sizzle in the skillet and drizzle right before serving. And that final touch, it makes the food just really sing. Now's the perfect time to stock up. Graza's annual site-wide sale is on through October 31st. Everything is 20.74% off. Yeah, 20.74% off. No code needed. So go to graza.co. That's graza.co. Grab yours today. Your food and your friends and your stomach and your taste buds will thank you. Support for today's show comes from Lean. Lean is a smarter way to approach weight loss. We have all done the yo-yo thing, the diets. You lose 10 pounds, you gain 12 or 15 back, sometimes more. Doctors call it weight cycling, and it can increase risks of diabetes, heart disease, and more. So Lean is a non-prescription oral supplement, not a GLP-1 shot. It's created by doctors to help break that cycle. It works in 3 ways. It supports healthy blood sugar, it helps control appetite and cravings, and it converts fat into energy, which means you're burning it. You're not storing it. So I started using Lean to support my own routine, and it has helped me keep my energy steady and my habits consistent. So if you're ready to lose weight at a healthy pace and keep it off, go to TakeLean, LEAN.com, TakeLean.com, and use the code LEMON for 20% off of your order. That's TakeLean.com, promo code LEMON, and start making some real progress. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Yes, thank you so much to all of our sponsors. So, guys, I'm so glad that you are here. Let me just talk to you personally for a little bit. It has been a crazy, crazy time for me traveling around. I've gotten very little sleep. I told you guys I got in at 2 a.m. I got home last night, and I didn't go to bed until probably almost 3, and then up at 7:30 to bring you the 10 a.m. show. And then I miss my boys. They're right here. And that's why I have it. So you may think it's weird that I bring my dogs in, but I want you guys to stay close to your family after witnessing what I saw in Chicago and just the injustice that's happening with people. I think it's important for us to be in community with each other. It's also important to support each other. And so I thank you for supporting this channel. This is your channel. You guys get to be on. I have good people who aren't afraid to say what's happening in the world and to call out the injustice and to call out really the assholes who are running the country right now, who are acting on their worst inclinations. And so it's important to be in community. It's important to support each other, support independent media. And of course, I would like you to support this channel, but support also other independent journalists as well. Also, I need to tell you, speaking of, for No Kings, if you will join us on Saturday, I want you to, at 11 a.m., we're going to start. It's going to be me, Joy, and Jim Acosta. And we're going to do the very similar thing as what we did last time for No Kings. Amazing network quality, even better coverage that we had. And so we'll see you then 11, and then we'll go all day, and we'll just cover everything that's happening around the country. So tune in to us for that. If you want to know anything about the show, all you have to do is go to donlemon.com. There is our website. Everything is on there. We need to put our newest platform on there, which is Twitch. So if you want to join us on Twitch for some of behind the scenes IRL, we did a live Twitch last night sitting in the airport lounge. It's just really fun. It's relaxed. It's me walking around, eating, ordering food, cooking, doing whatever. Okay. So join us it's twitch.tv/donlemon, twitch.tv/donlemon. But support us if you go on our main page here, which is the arrow button right there at the top, right under the Don Lemon Show. That's our main show, our main page right here on the YouTube. All right. So you can subscribe and become a member. And we thank you for all of that. Also, if you go back out, you can go to our merch store. You can get this Lemon Live t-shirt and other Lemon merch as well. And speaking of, we got some merch picks that we need to show you. Who is this gentleman? Very handsome.
Yeah, this is Eric from Washington, D.C.
Ah, I like Washington, D.C., and he's on the Washington hat. Old people be knowing. Well, Eric, I don't think you're old, but I still think you be knowing. So thank you for your support of the Don Lemon Show and the Don Lemon channel. Right, Boomer? Yes.
This is from Miss Cat.
Yes, Miss Cat is after my own heart. I love the Hennessy and the lowball glass. Amen, sister. Thank you for your support. Who else?
Last but not least, this is Patrice.
Hi, Patrice. Patrice, oh, is that the pink shirt? It looks like the pink signature shirt. Oh, no, it's a bag.
The tote? Yeah.
It's a tote. It's a tote. It's the Lemon Nation tote. Beautiful. Thank you, Patrice. Thank you for your support. Beautiful lady. All right, guys. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to be informed without being inundated. I want you to be happy. I want you to be in communion. Go say hello to a loved one. Spend the evening with someone you love. I may come back on live. If I do, I'll send you a note. You'll get an alert. But otherwise, I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Boomer, you want to be on the show in the morning? At 10 a.m. Eastern time. So until I see you back here on the Don Lemon Show, on the Don Lemon channel, 10 a.m. Eastern time, I want you to be informed without being inundated and turn the TV off. Bye. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never, ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.